All right, so they're playing. They've got an interesting team, both teams. Quality picks of Aatrox, very high tier pick. Is that? Hold on, who's going mid on the?
I
Blue
like the
team.
Lucian Braum into the Jin Lux bot lane.
Who's going mid on blue team?
It's Galio Ari. And then Aatrox and Klepto Victor top.
I'm just saying, the tables have turned. Victor top and Galio mid. Something that nobody could have imagined just like 2 months ago.
Right. So let's talk about each of your teams, right?
Well,
blue team, okay. They got plenty of. They got actually.
they've
They're
got a
definitely
good
a
team
more
fight.
early.
They've got
early,
a very strong team fight.
Early game
They had a
oriented.
strong team fight and very strong lane pressure. Braum, Lucian. Braum hits his Q onto the Lux or the Jin. Lucian just dashes in, gets his 2 procs off. Easy freeze right there, and just like an amazing like aggro bot
Great
comp.
trade
At the
potential.
same time, really good at good trade, very good in aggro, but also good at the disengage with the wall that Braum can put up and the dash that Lucian could get away with.
And I feel like the enemy bot lane kind of has a little bit of a strange pick in Lux,
Cornwall.
with Lux acting kind of like a discount Morgana for Jin, because Morgana's good with Jin because of the long route that she has, and Jin can follow up with his W, rooting them for approximately 4 seconds, which is a lot of time, especially in a gank. Using Lux is kind of questionable because for most part she will just be an underfed mage, as opposed to she doesn't bring much wave. She doesn't bring the wave clear that Morgana has. She doesn't bring the utility that Morgana has. She seems all around just a weaker pick than Morgana would be in this situation.
What I don't understand is I don't know if Aatrox picked into the Victor, but as Pippy over here learned very well, Victor is quite challenging to deal with in the top lane.
I can spectate the game you're spectating. I can spectate your spectation. Fun fact. Alright, loading in.
Yeah. Victor into Aatrox is very geared towards Victor with his Q procs and kind of ability.
The lane
to
actually
Victor,
is
to the
geared
Aatrox.
towards the Aatrox. He's plenty of cap. I just didn't pull off the Aatrox well. Interesting enough, the Aatrox does have Ignite, so it's probably going to be going very aggro in the early game. So if he doesn't pull that off, Sunderland does have the double TP, which combined with the Galio ultimate will give him a lot of map pressure.
I have to say, I think it's a very poor strategy to use to bring Ignite to this matchup, because yes, you're gonna have that early kill pressure top lane, but Victor can farm from a range, which means that even if you push him out, he will still be able to CS here and there. It's not like you're like pushing out someone close range, like maybe a Galio or something. And in the late game, he's going to be feeling that lack of lane map pressure when he's going to be top lane matching somebody else and not being able to teleport, push out waves, go defend and stuff. They don't have that option to simply leave somebody behind in base, go to Baron, start it, and have them TP in later. They don't have that. So I feel like in the late game they're going to be very much struggling with that situation.
We are talking about Cornwall, right?
I was talking about the Aatrox, the blue team, red team, sorry.
Red team, yes.
Yeah, their lack of TP. Runes are Ari has a strange pick for a rune running Comet over the Electrocute rune. I find that to be a very strange pick, especially into a Galio, what is presumably, yes, is a Galio. Even against the Victor, not a very good pick, because Ari tends to work well with that. Ari is an assassin, not a mage, really. So she tends to work a lot better with that burst damage from Electrocute, rather than relying on that poke damage from the Comet, especially because she doesn't have many long-range abilities that can trigger Comet. Electrocute in a Plus, something that is also very important, I believe it's the domination tree that Electrocute is in, the red one.
Yes, domination.
The domination tree offers Ultimate Hunter, which is a very, very important rune to take now, especially with Ahri's ult nerfs very recently. They allow Ahri to pressure the opponent in lane, roam better. So I feel like sorcery as the primary pick is a very, very poor option.
Perhaps that is the case. I do like the Lucian Brown bot lane because it is a very strong bot lane. I can't see the
How do I pull up the board in the bottom?
Huh?
How do I pull up the bottom in the bottom? The thing in the bottom.
Okay.
So
It's oh, there we go. I knew that. All right.
So I like the Gragas pick. I like that he went Aftershock, but I would have preferred him to go Predator so that he has more map pressure to the lanes. But the Aftershock is actually really, really good on Gragas.
Victor having a slight level advantage on the Aatrox, maybe being able to push him out a little bit.
I think we should be able to see. We'll probably see a lot of roaming from and 3-man, 4-man plays coming from Sunderland because of the double TP, because of the Gaia ultimate, and they're most likely going to win the early bot. And Victor will, when he falls behind on CS, he'll stay even on gold simply because he has cut the man to but he's getting ganked now.
What are the teams called?
Sunderland and Cornwall.
Seers. Cornwall, alright.
Ooh, that was a flash out from the Ahri. I'm not sure that she needed to use the flash thing.
Victor is running low on mana though, so if he continues to push up this far to maintain that push, Ahri is getting a lot of damage.
He does.
I don't know.
He is beating the Aatrox by whopping 10 CS right now, so he's gonna
that is amazing. Let me quickly organize my board over here. Put everything where it needs to be.
Gragas comes to gank. They're probably gonna get first blood on the Lux. He'll comes out.
Really bad
One more hit, but
slam
concussive blows. And he's gonna get it. But he's gonna get the kill. Seems so. And that's gonna be first blood going over to Gragas.
First
well
blood
done.
over to 2 next. Good play. Oh,
the Lux
very close to dying.
The Lux turned around, seeing that the Lucia was 1 hit away from dying. She turned around and tried to maybe secure the kill, but it was just a little too late.
Let me also pull that up so I know what you're looking at.
It was a missed flash body slam that could have messed up that whole gank.
Seems this is a pretty easy matchup for this Victor right now, and the unfortunate thing about it is Aatrox does have the ignite. If he doesn't find success with that, it's a wasted summoner spell for the laning phase. He's gonna fall behind even more in CS. It's like there's gonna be a gank down in the bot lane. Jarvan comes in, flag and drags. Toshi is going to make it out alive on a sliver of HP, and Med trying to gank around. He is going to die to the Jarvan. TP does come down. Victor doesn't have much mana though.
Victor has nothing to pressure with. The Braum is backing off. Possible kill coming out for Cornwall.
I question the
feel like that this is
necessity of
just
that play.
a lack of communication.
There's no way to come down. The AD carry and the jungler got a trade. You can stay top and still take your lead, get a better lead, but going down with less than a quarter of your mana, that just...
I must say that was overall a pretty poor play from the Victor and poorly coordinated. He came way too late, and when he was there, he only had a quarter, less than a quarter, maybe even a third, maybe even an eighth of his mana left, his total mana pool, which is probably enough for an E and a Q at most. So Braum backed off. They didn't really have anything to apply pressure either.
Behind, gets the Aatrox flash out. That is worth it, if nothing.
So good. Applies more pressure up in the top lane.
Galio gets the E out, and he...
Nice taunt.
Ahri walking too close to Galio there.
Ahri might just go down.
I'd say on
if she has her charm, she should be fine. Or not. The Winds of War come out.
It is very difficult for her to actually not die. Oh, the
Ahri gets away on the sliver of HP.
Ari
Gragas, though, is looking for something.
misplay.
They will have vision on it.
Heavy misplay by Ari, but not punished by the.
He's going to die because of the proactiveness
Galio.
from the Seers jungler. Nice to see some
Great
aggro
work
play.
on Tunics. Lucian going in for the trade on Lux. I think the main problem with Ari's plays is that she tends to use her abilities to farm. She throws out Foxfires and her Q Spirit Orbs for no real reason. She attempts to farm with her Foxfire, which is overall a pretty bad idea. It burns a lot of mana and is not a very good farming ability. It is.
Well, team is coming in for another gank. He's putting in work, much more work than driving. He has a plan and he is sticking to it and he is doing it. And that's just gonna be really rough for Aatrox because he's sitting at 10 CS at 7 minutes up compared to that Victor's 45. He is, however, he should be safe here. There's no hope that Aatrox can't come up.
I don't think anyone can stop him from leaving at this point.
Galio still does have his hero's entrance, if need be.
You see, I think here's a situation where you can say that Lux is a lot worse than Morgana in this situation because she doesn't offer anything that they would want. They don't need the additional damage from the Lux laser. The wave clear, good work on Tunics, by the way.
Tochi seems to be typing right now.
Yeah.
He's AFK.
I do, however, want to question the cloth armor coming out from the Aatrox in an AP matchup.
What is he building? What is the standard Aatrox build in this situation? Or in
if you're losing, you could just build a Hex Drinker, you can build Merc Tread, just build defensively, build HP. Because there's no point in just flat out buying resistance. Or there is a point. He's missing all of his keys.
Oh, there goes Aatrox.
Flash from the Victor. That top lane is gone. However, it is kind of flipped. Bot lane is going to get they're going to get first tower at 8 minutes. That's probably not good.
Jin
I
almost
wouldn't
doubling
expect
Lucian CS. That's
I wouldn't
harsh.
expect them to lane swap because the dragon is still up and there's still some time for the herald, so they can build up the bot lead. Because if they send the Aatrox bot, they are not going to secure that dragon. Not with a 10 CS
I think that
Aatrox.
Lux back might have been a mistake. I think they should have both gone. They should have rushed down the Baron and then backed at the same time to lane swap after
They also
that.
don't have any vision on Sunderland's jungler. They are going to start up the dragon. Sunderland has no vision of the dragon. Currently, they have no idea they're doing it.
How can you manipulate the vision
F1,
to
2, 3.
either side? F1, 2, 3.
They are going to secure the dragon. That's going to be Ocean
There's
going
a
over
parkour.
the
You can select it from all to blue or red side.
Galio is completely out of mana. He's probably not going to be able to do much. Again, with the Foxfire farm, not exactly a very useful.
Dragon is over there sitting behind the.
Mostly just a waste of mana.
Looks like he might try to do a dive. She gets a little too close or pushes up.
Oh, but Galio, Ari dashes right into a bit of a
really
waste of
work,
that
pass.
Galio ult. However, Galio flashes
I
to.
am not sure.
Well, they
Double
both
flash needed to come out for that.
And I think
they
that the
already
Galio
did
ult
kill.
was a bit of a waste, but in the end they secured 2 kills and make that gold lead a 4k gold lead at 9 minutes.
We are
Might
nearing.
I add that Aatrox has 14 CS at 10 minutes.
We are nearing the 10-minute mark, and everything seems to be going well for Sunderland except for their bot lane. But the Braum is timeless. He will always be relevant with his concussive blows and his Glacial Fissure. Just had looked up for a moment.
I must say that on the other team it's quite mirrored, where bot lane is doing very well. Jin almost doubling the farm of...
And another solo kill onto the Aatrox. This Aatrox really is just not respecting the Victor, just not respecting that he is losing this matchup pretty hard.
He is behind so many levels. He cannot fight under any circumstances. He just needs to stand out of range and try to grab XP where he can. But Jin going for the Galio now. Ari doesn't seem to care.
Flash up in a Lux.
Flash. Good Q.
Victor is, however, heading down, and
Ari
Jarvan
is
is above him. I'm not sure they win this.
See, and this is once again where Morgana would have been more useful.
And the Galio is going to go down. We'll see if Victor's going to go down shortly after that. But Tunex is here to mop up. He is going to get the Lux. It seems that is going to be all that he gets.
What I'm still not understanding throughout all of that, Jin, Jarvan, Lux, both collapsing on there. Why is Ari just pushing mid?
It's like Gragas is able to force the flash out of the Ahri. That's pretty important.
There seems to be no communicate. There seems to be a lack of communication on red team.
And a lack of map knowledge. And a map of awareness.
So.
Being that they have walked right in front of the tower to begin with, in front of the Ahri.
I do, however, want to see both teams warding more, because currently there are only 2 pink wards placed down for Sunderland, and 1 pink ward and 1 normal ward for Cornwall.
I have to say, neither of them are controlling objectives with any kind of ward.
But Fisher comes out onto the Jarvan. Can Solution kill the Jhin before it happens? Bashes over him, does manage to get him. Jarvan's out of mana, so we can't flag and back onto the Lucian.
Oh, here comes the Lux. That probably will end the fight. A little skirmish, but
however, Galio is here.
You see, in the past fights, it's been very obvious that Morgana would have straight up been a better pick for Cornwall. Lux does not have the CC capabilities that Morgana has, holding champions down for not as long, and that has cost Cornwall quite a few opportunities. Victor's gonna probably just push in.
Dominating the lane, 3 levels above, and 60 CS more.
Top lane turret will most probably be taken along with a kill onto the Aatrox.
Yes. I feel Cornwall drafted themselves into a hole here. Because now that you're taking Ignite against a Kleptomancy Victor, you have lost a matchup and you're losing it pretty hard, and you're not showing the ability to adapt. Why are you building Ninja Tabi first item into a 4-2 Victor with Kleptomancy, who is a mage? Why are you building armor, right? I don't feel most of Victor's damage comes from his auto attacks.
That he misreads the situation and that he thinks Victor is poking out. Why is he building armor? The enemy team.
Fun fact: 4 out of 5 people on the enemy team are do magic damage.
Yeah, I was just about to say the only person on the enemy team that actually deals physical Lucian, and even he has quite a few magic damage abilities, right? And you see that Aatrox has gained 6 farm over the last 4 minutes.
Luskins be yourself caught out the body slam from the Gragas, and she's gone from the Justice Punch. I question why the Ahri and Jhin would walk up so far and stay. Ahri is probably knocking it out.
Most likely dead.
No,
Ahri's gonna live.
Wizard of War does not come out from Galio, probably on cooldown. However, I do want to see, although Seers is winning, I don't feel they're warding enough. They need to get... They're winning, but they can do it much more convincingly. The flag guy does come out for Jarvan. Just gonna back off. Jhin is going to...
Tunex is gonna have to leave.
Tunex does manage to dodge before it's shot.
But they are going to have to back off. Tunex is very low, and they may want to still do Rift Herald. So something they could do. Well, Tunex shouldn't be a part of the Rift Herald push now because he will most likely. Oh, he ate the fruit. I didn't see that was.
If I were Sunderland, I would start getting vision down on the boss side. Right, you've shown that no matter where you go on a map, you're probably going to win the fight, and you have a lot more ability to move around the map. They will 100% out rotate Cornwall. They have 2 teleports and they have Hero's Entrance. They will out rotate them. They can play around the Herald, yes, but I don't want to see them trading the Herald for that Infernal, because if they slip up, they just shouldn't give any opportunity for Cornwall to come back in this game. They are going to secure the Herald and put it onto the Gragas.
It's not going to matter though, because Cornwall is being pushed in by Lucian in the bot lane. Only Lux being down there.
And then
however, there doesn't seem to be
behind.
much of an attempt to secure the Infernal, so Cornwall might go for it.
I don't think Cornwall
can. If I say Aatrox
can.
is dead, is anybody going to be surprised?
Not at this point.
No, I'm surprised he's not dead.
Seers is,
and
this Lux will most likely be dead. No, yeah, managed
here comes the kill with the lifesteal to save him. But Infernal is falling. But does it matter if they can push until the inhib?
For the life of me, it would matter if Cornwall were playing like a team. But right now, they aren't playing like a team. It seems like they're not communicating.
It's looking like a solo queue match coming out from Cornwall.
They're playing like solo queue players that are all flamming each other and don't know what to do next.
They don't seem to have a strategy.
Pop the Herald down in the mid lane. It's going to get that tower. It's probably gonna go even for the inhib tower.
It's
They are
going to definitely
top
charge
lane.
the inhib tower and get a nice chunk of damage. Here we see the great programming on the Herald spazzing out.
Gragas has no mana. He might go down
down.
to the...
Gragas could die here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Jhin shot, is it gonna hit?
Jhin does not
The
seem
flash auto
flash
coming out from
coming
the
in. I'm just saying that we can see that Aatrox went a very aggressive route. He said that he decided in Champion Select, I am going to win lane. He picked his Ignite, he picked Electrocute.
Droppy there. Jarvan's probably gonna die. The heal comes out. He's not going to die. They don't have the damage for this. Instead, Cornwall might turn this around. The hero entry does come out.
It's enough to scare them off.
It was zoning.
Lux doesn't seem to be doing too much damage. Lucian coming.
From the Lucian is a bit
Lucian,
off,
however,
but Cornwall is
doing
not
a
able
lot
to
of
capitalize
damage.
on that.
Ari might come in to mop up, but
that. Double kill for the Lucian.
This Aatrox
Seers.
Ari will most likely go down once she gets the Q out, and then she can get a double kill.
Seers
Nope.
seems a little bit disjointed here. Not focusing one target causes them to lose their support. I don't think that is the most impactful thing ever, but it is something that they must work on.
I feel Sunderland just came into this game much more prepared than Cornwall has. They're actually playing like a team. By all means, not perfectly. They're making some mistakes, but the thing is, they're playing as a team.
Plan.
Cornwall is not playing as a team right now. They're just doing their own thing. They're not communicating effectively. Flagging guy just went from Jarvan.
Coming out.
None of them have.
Gragas
None
might
of them
die
have
here.
any type of resistance.
Gragas has a lot of damage coming out though, and Lucian absorbing damage. Sorry, and Lucian is killing the Lux. She might die to red buff. Aatrox is dead once again. This is looking like complete stall from Seers' side.
I feel like the Aatrox had a plan, and no matter what, he will not adapt.
Does a flash in
Sticking
from
to that one plan.
Does manage to get the Lux, but gets shut down.
You see, the Aatrox plan was to dominate lane and then carry that lead over into the later game. The problem being that he sacrificed a lot and took that chance. He sacrificed a lot to take that chance. Jhin misses every single one of his shots. He sacrificed a useful summoner spell that would have been useful this time around, and he sacrificed a lot of his lane since he has 31 CS only and 6 deaths. He hasn't contributed to his team at all, and he dies
Sunderland
now.
Probably getting the game here. The Jupiter does come out because it goes onto the Jarvan and onto the Ahri. That's a good mix. Ahri will go down. Aatrox will probably go down. He does not have the ultimate ability up. Sunderland might... Nah, they're not going to end the game. Yeah. Oh, no. They could probably end the game here. The ground goes down. Well, that's kind of...
Death on Victor might be a huge shutdown, but...
Victor's still going in. He might just get the
Victor
unofficial
takes
penta.
the Jarvan.
He's going to take on the Jhin. He gets the unofficial penta.
Wow, a 1v3 basically that he won, acing the enemy team. However, he's not going to get anything. Maybe he should be pushing with Lucian in the mid lane now instead of pushing in the side lanes.
That is a great position to back in. Yeah, just all across the board. Sunderland is just playing better in all areas of this game. The early game was a bit shaky for the bot lane, but it was made up for from the successes of every other lane in this game.
And they then proceeded to transition the lead onto the bot lane as well. The bot lane didn't give up masses of kills, unlike the Aatrox, who kept attempting to bring back his lost lane.
Sunderland's probably just going to end the game here if they play it right, but they did lose their AD carry, but Victor is coming in. He's pretty much their team at this point. I'm getting 164 CS at 20
going
minutes.
on in the chat.
Yeah, so Sunderland can probably just end the game here. They're probably just going to go for the end. They have two innings down. The next wave is coming. They're going to
Cornwall
at
seems to be a
least
bit
leave
tilted
with one
looking
Nexus tower.
at the chat room.
They are going to come out, however, pretty healthy, except they're too far behind for this to actually matter. Lucian is not there, but since this is going to kill, the entrance comes out. Yeah, Cornwall's gone. This game was pretty one-sided.
For Sunderland.
This is the best one, right?
Yes, it is. Pretty convincing win from Sunderland, if I'm going to be honest. I will say, however, though,
I think there was a lot of things that went wrong for Cornwall starting in Champion Select with a strange team composition.
They went in. I don't even think they came in with a game plan.
They came in with an incoherent game plan. Aatrox wanted to win hard early game. Lux doesn't really fit into the team at all. Jarvan holding down the enemies for Aatrox to assassinate them later on. Ari doing the same. There doesn't seem to be a place for Lux or Jhin, for that matter, in this team. A champion, an AD carry, like most other, like for instance a Sivir would have been much more useful here.
Perhaps it would have, but I don't. Sunderland came in with their comp, especially it kind of seemed like that they were going to play as a team. They with all the picks that they had, with all the coordination required,
it is naturally not.
They came in as they were going to play as a team. My only
naturally
problem
it is not
here.
only faced with the team comp. There was a lot of misplays on the part of Cornwall, but they could have started improving their odds with a team comp that seemed to reflect a coherent strategy, which they didn't seem to have thought of in the beginning. Whereas Sunderland came up with a plan on how they want to win this game.
For a game that only lasted 21 minutes, though, they did buy a good amount of pink wards. 0-1 to Victor, but he was winning his lane so hard. I don't think it mattered. But only a grand total of 3 control wards purchased from Cornwall. 20-minute game. I think that
is unacceptable.
This shows a lack of vision, but
it's very much subpar. Fun fact, nobody on Sunderland ever crit. There was not a single crit coming out from Sunderland.
No crit items.
I'm just saying.
The only thing I want to say, though, from Sunderland's play, they need to ward more, and I feel Lucian needs to be a bit less melee mode, because I feel for some of those fights he was in melee mode, but it was made up from the fact that his team was so far ahead of the enemy. But yeah, okay, good game, good job. GG will play to both teams. Both teams played well.
Cast by Pippi Unicorn, Green Dragon, and Top Hat Owl.